It just means less competition.
Tier 2, we're going to call them Tier 2 guilds, we're going to call them Tier 1 guilds. For the purposes of this particular stream, and in general most discussions that we've had on the forums, Tier 2 is anybody who's not TMO, FE, or IB. IB may not like me lumping them in with FE, but whatever. For the purposes of this discussion, they're all Tier 1. Everybody else is Tier 2. My understanding is that the Tier 2 guilds all pretty much want a rotation. Which is fine. If they want to rotate mobs, that's their choice, but they're going to need to do it within their own system, within their own tier. They can't expect Tier 1 to want to rotate mobs, and, they can't expect to get all the mobs. They can't even expect to get 50% of the mobs. It's just outside of VP. It's just not, it's not realistic. And honestly, the Tier 1 guilds who stand to lose everything in this discussion, whereas the casuals stand to gain everything in this discussion, the Tier 1 guilds have been pretty damn generous. They've put up some proposals that basically give casual guilds a 50-50 split on mobs. The problem is that the Tier 2 guilds want track, CT, VS, and Enarok. And if they don't get an even number of those mobs, which, let's be honest, those are the best loot mobs outside of VP.
And even better than, at least 3 of the VP dragons.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even outside of even within VP, they are some of the best mobs in the game for loot. And, those are the top tier mobs. You can't expect the top tier guild who's really only interested in that kind of loot at this point. Maybe there's a couple of drops off of other targets that they want, but it's not as important. You can't expect those top tier guilds to go, we're the best on the server because we put in the most time, which they do. And because of that, we're just gonna give up half of these spawns. Go ahead and take them. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
And then they're getting half of the Tier 2 spawns already. The casuals are.
Yeah, I do agree with that.
I think they need to find some concessions within their plan to they're getting a lot in any proposal that's been proposed. So I think they need to reassess their position and reevaluate what it is they want from the raid.